already know what it is. Chauncey, aka Ukarema, Great Man of God Media, with another GMOGmedia TV reaction, family. All right, I'm gonna get right into it. Going to react raw and uncut to videos I come across, and the latest video that I'm about to react to and give you my real-time raw and uncut reaction, no editing, all right, and my post-thoughts commentary. I'm going to react to Lil Wayne talking about he's never dealt with racism on the show Undisputed with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. I already talked about Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe before on a previous reaction video with Ray Lewis, talking about the Colin Kaepernick situation. So check that out. I'll have it up here somewhere where you can check out the previous reaction video. So I'm about to get into it, but before I do, once again, if you're new, I am Chauncey, aka Ukarema, Great Man of God Media. On this channel, I talk about counter racism. I also talk about issues that affect Black people collectively as a group, and I offer my suggestions on how to replace this broken system of injustice, this broken system of racism, white supremacy, with a system of justice. So if you subscribe to that ideology, please subscribe to this channel. If you don't, you know what to do. Just exit. And if you don't like these kind of videos, just don't watch. It's that simple. For those of you who want to continue, get the information, please, let's go ahead and continue. So I'm going to react to Lil Wayne on the show with Skip and Shannon Undisputed, talking about he's never dealt with racism. So I'm interested to see what he has to say about that. So let's get right into it. Let's get it popping.
What's your reaction to Kaepernick's protests?
Yes. Going right back again to this man. The man and his decisions, man. Respect the man and his decision. That's all I can do. I have no opinion on it, because the things I'm not into it enough to even give an opinion. So when he did it, I really didn't know what. Somebody had to tell me why he was doing it. That's how much I didn't know what was going on, and I kind of still don't. So somebody had to explain to me, like, are you kneeling because of the Black Lives Matter thing, and because of all that wave, but whatever, that whole wave just went by me too fast for me even try to.
Because you're in your own bubble.
Oh, okay. That's what's happening.
So you're a deep thinker in these issues.
Really?
So step back from all of it. I know this is a very broad question, but where are we in the United States of America in race relations?
Skip, that's a wrong question, but it's got to answer.
Skip, they wouldn't want to ask me that. They wouldn't want my answer to represent it, because
there you go.
God knows I have been nothing but blessed. My whole path, these 33 years have been nothing but a blessing. I have never, never is a strong word, never dealt with racism.
Really?
I didn't have to.
Really?
And I don't know if it's because of my blessings. I don't know if it's, but it is my reality. So I would have to say, not only did I thought it was over, I still believe it's over, but obviously.
So you've never experienced any offensive behavior from any other color? Or
No, sir.
Wow. But you are blessed.
But you see what's going on, even in your city, New Orleans, with Alton Sterling.
Yeah.
During Katrina, the officers that killed those in the jail. So I know you say you're not paying attention to it, but you see some of the things that's what's
going on.
Right.
As far as an opinion on what's going on, I mean, of course, we all want somebody to figure out what's going on first, and then put a stop to it, or try to put a stop to it. Everybody come together and figure something out, and maybe just coming together is the solution. But we have to do that first, and obviously, we have a bunch of differences. People feeling this way, people feeling that way. When you come to a person like me, my answer is always the same, man. My politics, my flag, my country, my nation, my world, all that is Regine, Cameron, Neil, and his brother, Tune. That's it. That's my nation. That's my flag. That's my world. That's That's my protest. That's my don't protest. That's my everything. That's all that matters. Those 4 kids to me.
So go one level deeper with me. I remember one time I saw you after you had done a concert, I think it was in Westchester, different kind of neighborhood, but I asked you what the racial breakdown was of your audience. Do you remember this? You told me the only black face you could see in the whole audience was your makeup artist. I believe that's what you said. She was in the front row, right? A lot of white kids love rap.
Yes.
Explain that. What does that say to you? What's the message of it? What's the bigger picture of it?
I don't want to be bashed because I don't want to sound like I'm on the wrong. If there is a side, but I thought that was clearly a message that there was no such thing as racism.
Really?
That's what I thought that was.
Oh.
That was a perfect example. When I look out and I come up off the stage, when I'm coming out the bottom of the stage of my show, when I'm on tour, and I'm in my stance or whatever, and I open my eyes and I see everybody. I don't have this type of crowd or that type. My crowd has always been everybody, thank God. And that's all I can answer for. So.
Do you think the younger generation, the millennials, do you think they're moving a little further away from the racism as opposed to where it used to be?
It's not cool to them.
Right.
It's not cool to them. It don't matter to them. And when it's so not cool that it doesn't even matter to them. You know, they're like, what? You know, they're like, what happened? And that's their response. That's the millennials' response.
But could it be that you're a musician, and obviously as an ex-professional athlete or as an entertainer, do you think they treat you differently? Although you are black, you are a prominent figure in the black community. Could that be?
That's why I said I'm sure it may be because of my blessing.
Right.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure that's why my path has been different.
Right.
But I'm the first one to say I'm sure that it has a lot to do with it, but it also is the person that I am. I believe strongly that it's the person that I am.
You treat people a certain way.
Exactly.
Shannon, how do you feel about what Wayne is saying?
Well, a man can really only speak to his experience. And as I alluded to, I come from rural South Georgia. I've experienced things, I've been called things, and sometimes you can only see things through the eyes of the man that's cried. So if this man hasn't experienced racism, haven't been called out of his name, he's doing right by not saying and trying to make up a story. So did you hear what Lil Wayne said? He experienced the same thing. I commend him, although he's from New Orleans, the ward. What ward are you from? 17th Ward. We know what it's like in New Orleans. Although he has never experienced that, he's not going to sit up here on national television and try to embellish in order to further advance the conversation. Because then people are going to say, see, there's Lil Wayne. Not only is an athlete, we have an entertainer, a musician, a very prominent figure who's also experienced. So I commend him. If he's never, kudos to you, brother, in 33 years. I'm 48 years old from rural South Georgia. And if you don't think it's alive and well, Wayne, check my timeline. Check my timeline when Skip and I had this discussion last year. They still would use the N-word. They would still call you.
Shannon is dope. I like Shannon.
Ring around his tail. Hey, do you? That makes you feel better. I think it says a lot more about you than me, but I'm cool with it. It's not going to stop me from doing what I do.
Shannon, does it give you even a glimmer of hope, what he's saying about his more generation, the millennial generation?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that racism, bigotry is a learned, taught emotion. So if you do not teach someone to do that, they won't extend that. So it's got to stop somewhere. But you have to understand it's been going on for such a long, long period of time. We have 400 plus years of this in the U.S. People have been fighting back in biblical times. It was divided up. And so, like I said, Wayne, I commend you. I'm glad you're speaking. You're not embellishing a story. Being from New Orleans, experiencing what you've been able to experience. I remember reading where you said you accidentally shot yourself, but racism is real. He knows it's real, although he hasn't experienced it.
With that said, that night, that day,
yeah,
that I shot myself, police, I was the only person in the house.
Right.
Police came through there and knocked the doors down. I was on the floor.
Right.
They jumped over, they all hopped up looking for the drugs and looking for this and that. It was a white police that came, ran up there and stopped and said, "What the are y'all doing? Do y'all not see this baby on the floor?" And they said, "We called the ambulance." The ambulance say, "Ambulance, he has a hole in his chest." He picked me up, brought me to the hospital himself. He was white.
I had to laugh at that, man. White saviors. I had to laugh at that, man. White saviors. This is all I was thinking about watching that. His response was the miseducation of the Negro. You know, a lot of people, like I said before, man, it's a lot of black people who are walking dead zombies and don't know what white supremacy is if it hits you right in the face. For one thing, let's just make this clear. Okay? If you don't know or understand what racism is, what it is and how it works, everything will only confuse you. All right? So, to the confused walking dead zombies out there, okay? Racism is a power structure. I'm going to read to you the compensatory definition of what racism is. I don't go by the white man's definition of racism. I go by the black man's definition of racism. This is what I go by right here. Y'all see this? The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept, a compensatory counter-racist codified word guide, Neely Fuller Jr. So, I'm going to read to you guys what racism is. The codified compensatory definition of racism. Racism. Use this term to apply the scientific practice of unjust subjugation, misuse, mistreatment, and or abuse of persons classified as non-white. By persons classified as white on the basis of color or non-color, or on the basis of factors associated with color or non-color, and or the system of white supremacy. Notes, it is incorrect to use the term white racism. To use this term to apply that racism exists in a form of other than white supremacy. It is important to study the ways that others use the word racism and to ask many questions about the way it is used. All right? So, and I could break it down even further with what racist is also, but I'll keep it at that, okay? Get this book right here, The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept Word Guide by Neely Fuller Jr. Breaks down racism, racist, breaks down codified word guides and things of that nature that you guys need to understand. But again, when you have a system that's set up, because again, we live in a system of racism, white supremacy. So when you have a system that's set up for people of color, right, who have been mistreated, subjugated, castrated, murdered, lynched, etc. for over 400 years, and after that, we were so-called free with the so-called Emancipation Proclamation. We had Jim Crow laws, black codes, things of that nature. Then so-called segregation had ended during the 1960s. We have been put in a major disadvantage. So you got to ask yourself, the Lil Waynes of the world, the athletes of the world, when you are coming from poverty, when you're coming from nothing, as a lot of black people do, you come from nothing, you come from poverty. All you have to do is you only have a few options to get out, right? The only options that you have that are readily accessible for you is what? To become an athlete or an entertainer. So you have a system that's set up for you to fail. All of the obstacles that the system, which is the system of injustice, the system of racism, white supremacy, the way that they set up this system, right, of disadvantage, which includes poverty, lack of education, lack of resources, jobs, etc. All of these things combined with the fact that you have elements that you are set up to fail, you come out successful out of an impoverished environment, such as a Lil Wayne. You become a, multi-million-dollar entertainer, a multi-million-dollar athlete, and you're successful. You're one of the few that make it out of the hood. Now, you have to ask yourself a question. Why that I come from an impoverished environment. Why was this system, why was my condition set up for me to fail? Why were these conditions made for me to fail? Very simple. This goes back to racism, white supremacy. You have a system that's set up where a group of people are socially, politically, and economically well in advance of people of color. So much so, earlier this year, this past August, there was an article that came out that said it would take 228 years for black families to amass a wealth of white families. Okay, so this was a study in terms of the racial wealth divide. All right, so this is how far back we have become collectively as a group, where it takes 228 years for black families to amass wealth compared to white families. That is a system of a disadvantage. That is a system of injustice. That is a system of racism, white supremacy. And you have Lil Wayne, who comes from the music industry, right? The music industry, he says that he's never experienced racism in overall in his life. You know, obviously, again, you think of the miseducation of the Negro. He's severely miseducated, severely misguided, and doesn't know a thing about racism, what it is, and how it works, etc. He doesn't know that, right? So what he needs to understand is that his whole music genre is hated by white executives. His whole music genre, hip-hop, rap, all the top white executives, and I've talked about this before in past videos, the top white executives, they hate rap with a passion. All right, I'm gonna pull up an article that I actually talked about on a previous video in terms of suspected white supremacists and executives in the music industry. They talked about how on a poll where there was a poll of top white executives saying that hip-hop, rap was a music genre they did not want to put their money into, they did not want to support, etc., etc. Now, the executives, these top white executives in these companies, they will put money behind things that they feel is going to give them money back immediately. Okay, so if you're obviously a Drake, you one of these top rappers that are generating revenue, they're going to put money behind it because they see that you're doing it on your own independently. That's a no-brainer. That any smart businessman is going to put money behind something that's going to generate money for them, where they're getting a return on their investment. Okay, so that is something extremely common for a business owner to do. But in the long run of things, I'm trying to look for this article while I'm typing, while I'm saying this stuff. In the long run of things, these white executives, they do not want to support hip hop. Okay, they do not want to support hip hop at all, whatsoever. Let's see if I can pull up my article real quick. Okay, so. And as I say, I do this raw and uncut, no editing. You know what I'm saying? I do this raw and uncut. So here's the article right here on my monitor right here. All right. Billboard executive survey top brass weigh in on artists they convey most. Taylor Swift, right? And as you can see, this was an article from last year. This is Billboard, all right? Billboard magazine, who has also, they have a history, deep history of racism. All right, but this is the polls that they did. If you are starting a label today, which 3 artists from any label would you sign? All right, as you can see, the top 3: Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, and Adele. All right. Who do you root for? Taylor Swift, 70%. They got, if you could engineer the comeback of one artist that has fallen from the charts in the last 10 years, who would it be? Mariah Carey, John Mayer, All right, and I'm going to go to a specific thing they said about rap and hip hop. They said, yeah, here it is. What genre of music do you despise the most? Look at this, family. Number one is rap. See that? Number one is rap. So that right there tells you the power of systematic racism, white supremacy. And again, I read to you the compensatory definition of racism. Okay? You don't have to be called the N-word to experience racism. It is a systematic approach to mistreat, dominate, subjugate, all right, and totally rule over people of color. That's what racism is. All right, and when you have a person like Lil Wayne who comes from the music industry who has never experienced racism from what he says, you have a thing, like I said before, all black people suffer from some sort of mental disorder. He has a mental disorder that he doesn't even realize he has. Okay? And the main factor is post-traumatic slavery syndrome, cognitive dissonance, paradigm blindness. He is blinded to his own reality. His own reality, which is him being a popular rapper, successful, multi-millionaire, has his own kids, immediate family. He does not see past that. That's called paradigm blindness. All of that factored in with the fact that I've already explained to you that these top white executives, they hate rap. Okay? And I already read to you the compensatory definition of racism. So you have a long way to go, family, with these entertainers and these athletes who talk about race relations, you know, who talk about issues regarding black people collectively as a group. We have a long way to go because we have a whole bunch of zombies walking around who are miseducated and misguided. This, again, is the miseducation of the Negro. The lost zombies who don't know nothing about racism, white supremacy, wouldn't know what it is if you hit them right in their face. All right, family? So that's what I want to talk about with this GMOGMediaTV reaction video. All right, family? Let me know what you guys think down below about what Lil Wayne said. Let me know how you guys feel. Give me some suggestions on some next videos I should react to. Like I said, I'm really digging this segment. It's raw and uncut, no editing. Everything I say is just right off the top of the dome. All right, family? Anyway, leave a comment down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, Chauncey, a.k.a. Ukarema, Great Man of God Media, signing out. Peace.